Hello, Foxy Finds here, and welcome back to Foxy Shiny Quest. This week, I'm going over some spare shinies I had just lying around before we finish the gym challenge. Let's jump right in. A couple of weeks ago, I showed off a Seawaddle Community Day where I evolved one up to Levani. However, I was able to catch a second Seawaddle and evolved it up to Swaddaloon. This Pokemon is a cocoon-like middle-stage bug Pokemon, which are quite plentiful in the Pokemon world. This is one of the few 3-stage lines that Ash caught at the first stage and evolved it all the way up. A feat even rarer if you remove the first partner Pokemon and early bird Pokemon. Cramorant is an interesting Pokemon. It has a unique interaction with the moves Dive and Surf. Depending on if it has more than 50% of its HP or not, it will surface with either an Arrokuda or a Pikachu in its mouth. When it's hit with an attack, Cramorant will counter by spitting the Pokemon out, dealing 1/4 of the opponent's max HP in damage. It will then either lower the opponent's defense or paralyze it, depending on which one. Next up, we have Qwilfish, of the Hisuian variety. I was already looking to catch one of these for completely unrelated purposes, and I entered the battle to do so when I saw the shiny one in the background. Hisuian Qwilfish lost its water type in favor of dark type. Or, well, the Hisuian form is older, so I guess it's the other way around. These Pokemon are based on underwater mines, and they naturally learn a lot of self-damaging moves. It's a tricky Pokemon to use. While hunting for completely different Pokemon, I found a Trapinch. I already had a Trapinch though, so, oh hey, another Trapinch! I already had one, or I guess two now. So, I evolved one into Vibrava. This Pokemon goes from being an antlion to being a dragon, and this is just the little dragonfly Pokemon that's in between them. This Pokemon is one of the few that loses some base attack points when it evolves, though it does gain a lot of speed and a small boost to its other stats. I mentioned this with the family before, but this Pokemon really could have been a bug type. For the Halloween season, there was an event that had ghost Pokemon spawning in mass outbreaks in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, so I set out to catch myself a Shuppet. I already caught one and evolved it up, but I was lacking the base form until now. These Pokemon love to feed off of negative emotions. Fear, anger, sadness. Not really the nicest Pokemon to be around. It's not too surprising that this Pokemon evolves into something that expresses these emotions toward children. On to Bramblin. This Pokemon is based off of a tumbleweed and has a fairly minimalistic design. It just has eyes in the center and they can't even do anything other than rotate. This Pokemon is made from a wandering soul of a person who was unable to move on in the afterlife, and it got trapped in some dry weeds. I caught a second Bramblin, and after running around towns for a few minutes, I was able to evolve it into Brambleghast. These Pokemon will hunt prey down and absorb their energy completely. Definitely not a kind of Pokemon you want to encounter when you're all alone. With newer Pokemon, such as these last two, we don't really have a lot of information on them yet. As time goes on, we'll learn more about these individuals and get a better picture of what the Pokemon world as a whole looks like. Even if some of them are a little more dangerous. That's all I have for this video. In the next few weeks, I'll be finishing up the Gym Leader Challenge, and we'll really be on the home stretch then. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and as always, happy hunting!